Hey everybody, let's talk dragons. But not your usual 4 legs and 2 wings kind of dragons. No. These ones are weird. This video is part of Monster Week, an event organized by Ginny D and Antonio D'Amico of Pointy Hat fame. The idea is for a whole lot of tabletop content creators to post videos about one monster all week. And this year is dragons, so if you like big burninating lizards, you're in luck. There's a whole bunch of excellent creators taking part like Crazy K, Niobe, Mystic Arts, and my friend Peter from Tales from Elsewhere. You'll find a list of videos somewhere below. The timing turned out to be really good for me this year because I was researching 17th century folklore for an expansion to the Four Horsemen, so I guess I'm in there too now. Still, I promised you weird dragons, so let's start with the Tatzelwurm. The name roughly translates to paw dragon or paw worm, though it's also called a tunnel worm, a jumping worm, or a short-footed worm. Now, I don't know what you would classify as a dragon, but since folks in the 17th century decided that this is a dragon, we're going to roll with that. Apparently, this is what big dragon performance looked like back then. The descriptions of this creature vary a lot. Some descriptions say that they're a couple of feet long, others say that they can be up to 7 feet long. Some say they have 4 legs, or 6, or only 2. Most agree that it has a flat nose and very large eyes, but while some descriptions say it's very placid, others say it's extremely aggressive and will try to attack and eat livestock and children, being able to leap large distances and hide in holes and tunnels. The stories say that it mostly comes out when the weather is hot and humid or when there is an abrupt change in weather. If you hear a hissing sound, watch out, that's all I'm saying. Some accounts say that the Tatzelwurm is poisonous, so poisonous that even its high dose is harmful, so I guess it checks at least one of the typical dragon boxes here. Now, so far it looks like something you'd find in the first edition of the Monsters manual, but things get even weirder. See, at some point, someone decided that its head was rather cat-like, so we end up with a cat-headed dragon. Which, depending on how you look at it, can either be kind of hilarious or absolutely terrifying, like this early 20th century drawing. When it comes to writing specs for the Tatzelwurm in EZD6, I'm thinking it's not particularly bulky, but it is very fast and resilient, so I'll go for 3 strikes and a 5+2 hit. Apart from its poison, I figure I'll add in some abilities to account for its leaps. Since it can hide very easily, I'll also allow it to ambush adventurers. 3 strikes might not seem like much, but giving it the ability to get the drop on adventurers plus its poison, it is extremely deadly. Especially in the Four Horsemen, where you don't get karma to boost your dice and healing is much slower. The Tatzelwurm can be an interesting beast, but it's not much more complex than a wild animal. So let's go to something that the players can really chew on. Or that can really chew on the players. The other dragon we're looking at today is the Lindworm. Now, this one has a much longer pedigree. While people started writing about the Tatzelwurm in the 17th century, the first mention of the Lindworm dates back to the Viking period. The exact meaning of the name is disputed, but it's generally accepted to be some variation of agile or light dragon. Again, descriptions of the Lindworm vary a lot. In Scandinavia, they're generally depicted as very big serpents, while in Europe they're usually depicted with 2 legs, like the Tatzelwurm. In Klagenfurt, in Austria, they're said to be winged too, but that's kind of an outlier, so we'll just leave that aside for the discussion. Now, if they have 2 limbs, you might imagine that they walk on them like a bird or a dinosaur would, no? No. The stories say that they use them to drag themselves forward, which, if you can picture it, it would look kind of disturbing, really. Unlike the Tatzelwurm, these guys are huge. And we're talking swallowing people and livestock whole, kind of huge. They're big, they're strong, and in case that's not terrifying enough already, they can also spit a blinding poison. Lindworms are also pretty smart and they can talk. Some of them have a habit of hoarding treasure too, so we've got a bona fide dragon rider. Not all Lindworms are evil scheming monsters. Some of them are human victims of a curse that made them that way. But that does not make them less dangerous. If nothing else, they still have to eat. I'll link an excellent video from Overly Sarcastic Productions about the Prince Lindworm if you want to get some idea of what good would mean in this context. Since Lindworms are behemoths, I'm going to give them 15 strikes and 5+2 hit, plus a ranged venom attack. Lindworms don't get as many special use as the Tatzelwurm because I think most of the threat from them works out best narratively. My intention is to play them as the intelligent villain. but I leave a link to the stat sheets in the description anyway. And that's it for today. Thank you for hanging out, and I hope you found the video interesting. Please do check out the other videos for Dragon Week, and here I'm also going to give my friend Kyle from Desks and Dorks an honorable mention, because he did make a rather excellent video about dragons a few months ago. Stay safe, take care, and see you soon. And keep off whatever they were smoking back in the 17th century, because that stuff was strong. Bye!